Yo, 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 this is the live edition of the Hot Tag Podcast. We can actually get a little hot tag. Yes, sir. It's your boy Shake along with my co-host Teddy. We're actually live in person. It's a little festive in the room. We're feeling good. It's a New Year's edition. This is the last time you're going to see us all year. You don't got to wait long. It's just going to be another week till you see us again. But it's the last edition of the year. It's been a crazy year. Next year's going to be even crazier. 2022 in WWE, I think as a fan, has been the biggest treat that we could have asked for. And I think it's the closest we've felt as wrestling fans to being kids in a long, long time. And Teddy being here, this is kind of like when we were at WrestleMania Access, we got to call a match. This is a little commentary duo. It's good to have you back in person, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Shake, and it's a pleasure to be here, sitting with you, hosting it live. You know, ever since I moved, we haven't really been doing that. You see us, we live on two different sides of the state. So I got in here, I said, hey, let's do it live. You said, let's do it. And I thought it'd be a really special thing to do for the, for the viewers to see us actually interacting together. So today we decided we're going to do a number of different things. But I think the way we should start the show off is just talking about how crazy 2022 has been. I think, and I've heard this a few times, that I think it might actually go down as the single craziest year in wrestling history. I don't want to say best year because that's a very lofty statement. It very well could be. I mean, I think we should, let's dial it back and let's see what took place and see if we think that it could be classified as the best year in wrestling history, or at very least the craziest. And I'll tell you why I think it takes the cake for the craziest year in wrestling history, hands down anyway. Sorry, right at the back. Vince McMahon retires. There's never going to be a bigger piece of news in wrestling and universe. I mean, the man who took it from territories to one unit and made it national and globalized, and that no one's ever made it wrestling globalized like Vince McMahon did. He's put it on national television. Watching people, now it's all around the world. Everybody's watching WWE wrestling. People are begging for it to come to their country. Yada yada yada. The man who started WrestleMania. WrestleMania is the biggest payday of the year for every person who's a professional wrestler. Because if you're not wrestling at WrestleMania, you're wrestling at NXT Takeover. If you're not wrestling at NXT Takeover, you're wrestling at the Go Home, whatever indie shows. Every indie promotion books a wrestling show in that area of wherever WrestleMania is. They decide to go out there because they know millions of people will be, accumulated in that area. They'll be coming to see WrestleMania. And then for people who are true wrestling purists, they want to go to a bunch of different shows. So they're going to go see some indie shows. Not to mention, other people are trying to put on their best show of the year. So the man who started this massive payday has retired.
Yeah, I mean, albeit under weird circumstances and less than willing. Like, he'll say, oh, I chose... Now he's saying he got bad advice and was kind of, quote-unquote, forced out. But, yeah, I don't think there is a bigger piece of wrestling news that has happened or ever will happen, because you hit it directly on the head. Vince McMahon is the evil genius behind this thing we love so much. And I've said it a bunch of times. We're not having this podcast if it weren't for him. And him retiring, I had people, I tweeted it, right, about it, because everybody was. And I had people texting me and replying to me that aren't wrestling fans. Like, what? Are you serious? Vince McMahon actually retired. They thought that was never going to happen. I thought it might never happen. I said to Teddy, I thought he was going to die in charge.
He was going to die in Gorilla.
I was literally thought he was going to keel over in Gorilla, and it was just he's gone. And I also said, after it happened, we all felt like Munchkins and Oz after the Wicked Witch died. It was weird, because he didn't actually die. He was just gone. Yeah. When we were all happy about it. And I think it was for the best. I think the product has gotten better. I think it's not even necessarily that Vince's ideas were bad. It's just we've been seeing them since the 1980s. We've been seeing the same kind of integration of stories.
And that's what made them actually bad, because they were outdated.
Right.
He was still trying to operate on a 1990 model.
Right.
It just wasn't working.
No.
And so then we go into two of the biggest wrestling returns in history. Two of the biggest returns in history. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's crazy because Stone Cold Steve Austin, after 19 years, makes a return and wrestles his last match. Me and you are hoping it's his match. His last match at WrestleMania against Kevin Owens, and in a phenomenal match. And then, after 7 years?
Yes.
CM Punk makes his triumphant return to AEW, and to probably one of the, I'm going to say, either the first or the second loudest pop I've ever heard in my life.
I think the only louder pops you might have heard were
Only ones I can think of was Cena, Rumble 2008.
My God.
Stone Cold, WrestleMania 17.
Yep.
A Rock on any given SmackDown or Raw as we've seen.
Well, like also the Stone Cold unexpected on Monday Night Raws.
Yeah.
Like when
But I mean,
they were talking about him all night. There were certain Monday Night Raws, and it happened a few times, where like they were mentioning him like, oh, Stone Cold, and then, or specifically, oh my God, what about when Mick Foley won the WWF title and Stone Cold came out to help him win? I think that pop might have been the loudest I've ever heard.
I have to go back and listen to that one.
Oh my God, that was absolutely insane. It's so good. I really just need to play it right now.
Well, I mean the CM Punk one. I mean, grown men crying in the damn stands. You had grown men crying in the stands.
That was unbelievable, and that was so largely anticipated for so many reasons, and we had really, really rose-colored glasses about CM Punk, evidently.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, that return was unbelievable, and everybody was chomping at the bit to see this guy again because he said he was done, like it was never going to happen, and then all of a sudden we started hearing rumors, oh, AEW's having a big show in Chicago,
yeah.
Weird, wonder why, and then more rumors started coming out, like pictures start circulating, and yeah, that was a big return, but there's also another massive return that we didn't mention yet that is one of the best moments in 2022 was Cody Rhodes returning home to the WWE at WrestleMania.
Now I was going to get onto that, but I was going to let you play that first.
Yeah.
The reason that was so huge is because he was one of the pillars and founders of AEW. And
yeah.
That's like if Shane McMahon decides to go to AEW. And it's like, or at this point, it's like if Triple H decided to go to AEW.
Oh, Cody Rhodes?
When he went to WWE, it was like that.
Oh, I see what you mean. What he meant. No, yeah, that would, yeah. I know what you mean. Yes, I agree.
So was it something you did not expect to see?
No, it was to the point where, again, we thought we'd seen the last of it, in that it was. Oh, here it is. But he did come back. What?
Volume off it?
No.
Okay.
Everyone wanted. This was during the Monday Night Wars too.
This is when they said the tide turned.
Yeah, when WWE took over. You guys can kind of.
It's pretty loud.
That is unbelievable, considering that's not. That's just a tiny little stadium. They're not in a big arena. This is Monday Night Raw. You can hardly hear Jerry King Lawler scream at the top of his lungs. You can hardly hear him. That's insanity. And that wasn't a return. That was just Stone Cold coming out. And the moment was big, obviously.
They said at that moment, everybody switched over from watching Nitro and went to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, and that's when, like,
And supposedly their announcers are like, "Oh, you're not mentioned much. Mankind won the world title." Why would you say?
Why would you say? Because I watched this documentary and Bischoff was like, I don't give a fuck. He didn't respect Mankind at all.
Yeah.
Because he let Cactus Jack go.
Gotcha.
When he was in WCW, he got fired. He never really saw the value of Mick Foley, the wrestler. And then all of a sudden, now you have The Rock and Stone Cold involved in the situation, and that was the real story, obviously. But, then all of a sudden, Mankind is winning the title. Everyone's like, what? No way, because Mankind made a real connection with the fans.
Yeah.
Everybody loved Mankind. He was funny. He was personable because he wasn't this big, perfect-looking, God-esque figure.
He was the average Joe. Looked like he belonged on King of the Hill.
Looked like he belonged in the goddamn loony bin.
Yeah.
Okay, this guy looked like someone you'd see standing on the side of the road. Like, you could see him anywhere. Now he's winning the world title. What the hell's going on? And then all of a sudden, Stone Cold comes out and the building explodes and Mankind wins the fucking world title.
Yeah. Wild.
Ugh. Years passed.
Yeah. So, with all that said, I mean, I can't think of a wrestler. And then we're moving into what also makes Triple H now taken the right, decided to run the creative, and has been fantastic.
Yeah.
Valuing good matches now. We understand the importance of superstars, but we understand the importance of having stellar matches.
Right.
We had two of the greatest matches in history, not just this year in history
of all time, yeah.
Of all time, and as you said earlier, we might have also had the greatest last man standing match of all.
Mm-hmm.
We had Cody Rhodes with a torn pectoral muscle and a Hell in a Cell against Seth Rollins, and then we had Gunther and Sheamus in a just classic. They barely hit any moves. It was hitting. It worked, and the psychology behind the match was huge. And it deserves to go down. Both matches deserve to go down in history. Some of the best of all time. And then that last man standing match. Out of something no one expected. No one expected to get that caliber of a match out of Rock and Roll.
Oh, absolutely not. I think, that's what a lot of us wrestling fans were worried about. And I think a lot of people share that sentiment. Like, oh no. Rock and Roman again at SummerSlam. Why? Why do it? Why? Because we just saw it at WrestleMania. Roman won, and that wasn't a screwy win. I think that might have been one of the cleaner Roman wins in the past year at WrestleMania. I mean, yeah, low blow, whatever. But still, that was the least amount of interference, and I felt that was against his biggest opponent. But back to the last man standing match. The tractor in the ring, that's what Triple H did very well, is making things visually so impressive. I'm willing to bet that Vince McMahon, sorry to go to another match, might not have let Cody Rhodes go out into that Hell in a Cell match. Because I think we did know after a certain point, Vince McMahon did become overly cautious about things. For a reason, because he had, people die for things that he had a little control over.
I think Vince was still in charge, though, when Cody tore.
In Hell in a Cell, was he?
Yeah.
Wow. Why did I think he was gone then?
I don't know, because remember, Cody wasn't at SummerSlam.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, well, never mind on that one.
Yeah. But we'll segue, and we're touching on some of the greatest matches of all time. We're going to segue into our next segment, which I'm going to give my list of the best matches I feel from the year. And Shake's going to give his, and then we'll develop top 3 matches here. Top five of the year for the Hot Tag Podcast.
It started as 1, and now it's 5.
It did. Actually, it did.
And then it was 3, and then it was 4.
We'll see. We'll let it roll. We'll see how it goes. All right. So my top matches of the Gunther, Sheamus, just because that's my style of wrestling. Cody, Seth, Sal. I have to. And then Becky,
Yep.
Mania. Well, no other matches. I guess I'll do the Usos versus the Street Profits at Money in the
Money
Bank.
in the Bank.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a.
Those are my top 5.
You know what's crazy? That was better than the SummerSlam match. I thought. That the Jeff Jarrett match.
Yeah.
I thought Jeff Jarrett added a lot of unnecessary spectacle to it. I feel like he drew a lot of attention from what the match could have been. It's also kind of hard to follow up that absolute banger they had at Money in the Bank, but like I don't know.
It is.
My top 5: Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes at Hell in a Cell. I don't think I've ever watched a match that I thought was like more impressive in my entire life. Like that torn pectoral muscle, like I watched it over again and like you could hear a pin drop when he took that jacket off. Like everyone thought he was bullshitting. Like when I saw the news on Twitter, like I was like, oh, they're playing it up like it's a work. It's probably not that bad. Like I'm sure he has something and it'll be like half-ass taped up like they always do. Like when they tape ribs, like that doesn't fucking end. But like an arena that was losing their minds for Cody Rhodes, jacket comes off, it is almost black, and like I remember like gasping like pure to the bottom of my stomach and like putting my hand out because I could not believe how bad that looked. And like obviously it's a torn pec, there's only so much you can, but like the pain alone, like that bruising, like I couldn't imagine what like poking it feels like. This man had a kendo stick shoved into it multiple times. And like I thought that was bullshit too. But then during the match, there was like yellow spots where it was getting worse. And the kendos, I was like, oh my god, he's actually fucking doing it. And then like hitting the Cody cutter while having this torn pec is fucking unreal. He actually hit it like I think 4 times. But yeah, anyway, that's number 1 for those reasons. Number 2 for me, I will go Gunther and Sheamus because I think that's as close to a great old school match as we're going to get these days. That was 2 big heavy hitters doing that, being big heavy hitters. Going at it for a long time. It wasn't one of those bang it out 6-7 minute matches bullshit that we've seen in the past. It was actually a legitimate championship. It was a fight.
It looked like a goddamn fight. I mean, that was the closest thing we'll get to WWE being considered a real sport.
Yes. That was like when, I know they say it all the time, right? The big fight feel. Yeah. Like that truly had the big fight feel because you knew those two were going to work and actually going to do that. Like, not that Roman and Brock aren't working stiff and fucking throwing each other around because they are. But, like, that was on a whole other level. And I think, honestly, that was the moment I'd been waiting for, and I'm sure you have as well, that really put that respect on the IC title.
Absolutely.
They had been building it up, and they were doing, you were like, okay, Gunther's not defending it all the time, putting a little respect on it. But then when he does defend it, it's a fucking banger against one of the best to ever do it. And I don't think Sheamus gets enough credit.
No, he doesn't.
He won't until he retires. He's one of those guys because he was a heel most his career. But seriously, one of the best to ever do it. He stood toe-to-toe. What was it? 15-ish minutes? 15, 20?
It was 20 minutes. I think it was 20 minutes.
I think it was on the longer side. It was like 20 minutes, but it was a banger. The pace was good. They slowed down, but I never felt like it stopped.
No, because when they slowed down, they picked up the intensity of
right,
and the hard hittingness. So like they slowed down, but then it was
believable.
Yeah, and it was like, holy shit! So he slowed down, but now he just took his head off.
Yeah, it was like it's like he's slowing down to build up more energy so he can fucking kill the guy. Yeah. Unlike what we saw at WrestleMania, Edge and AJ, where I'm gonna hit a Pele kick and we're gonna lay here for 45 seconds. and then it's just gonna be fine, and then we're just gonna stand up and grapple. You're gonna get a side headlock, take me down.
That's
and then,
Edge's style too.
It's so bad, and like that's why you don't like Edge matches, and like unless the moment's right and the time isn't too long, I like Edge matches, and I also like him better in like tag teams, stuff like that, where he's not, because it is nice every once in a while for a slow, methodical pace. Like him and a Daniel Bryan would work very well together, I think. But like,
I think also there was nothing on the line. If you're gonna do that style of a match, we have to be like,
Right.
come on, get up, get up. We just.
it was a half-ass feud.
Yeah, it was a half-ass feud, and it was like, you know, it's not like Edge's career was on the line or AJ's career was on the line. So it's like, come on, get up, AJ, get up. It was like
someone's got to win. Let's go.
Oh yeah, like, come on.
And then, yeah, WrestleMania had weird finishes, and I think that was one thing you and I both expressed. Like that was our biggest disappointment. The things WrestleMania hit on, I think they hit and did very well.
They did. Night one.
Yeah. Besides the Charlotte finish.
Goddamn terrible. What a haluva kick.
just a big boot in the corner. And,
But
I wanted Ronda to win because she came back and won the Rumble, and I thought the moment was great. But then to have her lose like that, and then Charlotte ends up getting injured, she's just away now. It was very weird and didn't play out well.
Yeah. So your third match.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Sidetracked over here.
That is.
My third favorite match from this year. Go ahead, go for it. No. I was gonna say the Fight Pit match just to fuck with you. Number 3 match of the year. Roman versus Brock, last man standing. I said it before, and Teddy mentioned that I said it. I think that's the greatest last man standing match of all time. Like, the tractor lifting the ring and then Roman just tumbling out of the ring. Like, it was unbelievable to watch, and then it took Jimmy, Jay, Austin Theory, and Paul Heyman in the announce table, in the ring steps, in a steel chair to beat Brock Lesnar and keep him down. Like, and then that image of Roman on top of the rubble and Brock with the one in the air, and then the guy in the crowd just chirping him, and then Roman just giving it right back to him. I'm like, this is a bad. How many times did I text you this year? Roman is a bad motherfucker. He is just a bad dude.
That's a bad dude.
Like, oh, and how cold was when Brock went off and then threw the mic. You didn't get it on camera.
No, but
Roman catches the mic and doesn't even move.
And then
winks at Brock. I'm like, God damn it.
It was so smooth the way he caught it, too. He was just like...
He didn't move his hand. It was at his side, and he just caught it. Like, he didn't move his hand at all.
That was the smoothest thing I've seen all year.
It was unreal. Like, Logan Paul asked him about it on his podcast. He goes, like, was that planned? He goes, right place, right time, man. He's like, I saw it was kind of like coming towards my hand, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll catch it. But he's like, I'm the heel. I wasn't going to, like, try to fumble and catch this thing.
Yeah.
He's like, I was just going to stand there, and it just went to my hand, and I caught it. I gave him a little wink. He's like, whatever. Like, he's like, that was just one of those things that happens, and it's like, that just added to it, and it's like, I'm also over, like, Brock Lesnar trying to give himself cool intro things. He's like the big-ass country boy that came to kick Roman Reigns' ass. I was like, wow, Brock, you said ass twice in the same sentence.
Yeah, I like it.
I just think it's so corny, and, like, I like what he's trying to do. I just don't think he hits with it. Like, if Paul Heyman tried to take that angle, he would have said it better. Yeah. Like, he's trying to be like, oh, I don't need Paul to talk and sound cool, but, like, we don't like Brock because he sounds cool. We like Brock because he beats the piss out of people.
Well, you know what? I think he does. To me, I think it doesn't make me cringe, but you know what?
It makes me cringe so hard. At WrestleMania, I was like...
What got me at WrestleMania is when he took the gloves off.
Oh, I know. He's like, I'm ready to fuck you up, but I'm going to suplex you.
Yeah, he was like... and then Roman was like, oh, and nothing happened.
Yeah, if he started swinging fists, it would have made more sense. Yeah. And like I said to Teddy, because we sat there when the match ended and looked at each other like, that's it. I thought this was going to go another 15 minutes. But I think Brock popped Roman's shoulder out during the Kimura lock because I sent Teddy a video, and you might have seen it online if you're watching. Zach, I saw your message. What's up, by the way? He grabs the rope and like yanks back while he's grabbing it, and you see his arm jump forward. And I'm like, yeah, he popped his shoulder out because it ended at 11:45 Central Time, which is not even 11 o'clock Eastern yet. And you know that's when they like to cut it off, is like 11 Eastern. Yeah. And I was like, we weren't even close. Like sometimes they let it leak over with the celebration. That's fine, like a couple minutes, but like 15 minutes is a long time. That's a whole ass match. Like, I think that was supposed to be...
including entrance.
right. Like, I thought that was... That's why I wasn't too upset about it. Because, like, I was like, he was probably hurt because there was 15 extra minutes of usable time in that show space where I feel like that was going to be where the magic happened. And I feel like that's part of why The Last Man Standing was so great. Because they didn't really get to go all out at WrestleMania like they wanted to. Because remember, that was billed to be the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. The unification of the two world titles in one match for the first time ever.
Just imagine SummerSlam.
I can't.
I can't. How mad were we when we seen that? I was just like, should have been. Freddie goes, that should have been the match at WrestleMania. I was like, I know.
So, like, you get rid of the tractor, right? Because I don't know how they would have gotten a tractor in AT&T Stadium. They probably could have done it, but I don't know, whatever. Get rid of the tractor. Last man standing at WrestleMania for the world title, unifying the world titles. And they say SummerSlam is the WrestleMania of the summer. I get it, but
it's not even close.
I mean, I get like
it's the biggest party of the summer, sure.
Right, and that's like, it's like the equivalent. It's like you know, you get that in the spring and then in the summer.
It's like Christmas in July. It's not the same.
it's right. It's not the same. You can celebrate it if you want, which I do, but it's not the same.
Which I do.
Whatever. But yeah, that was number 3. Number 4. I think I'm gonna go with. Also, Becky and Bianca at WrestleMania. They absolutely... When I watched that match while we were there, we were fucking... I said before I saw Cody and Seth, I was like, holy shit, they might have just stole my... But then also you had KO and Stone Cold, which over-delivered in my opinion.
By a lot.
I honestly... Number 5. Stone Cold versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. I will put that due to the story and it overselling on the actual match. And then, well, I guess that's not related, but he had the quad. He brought Kevin Owens up on the stage. Stone Cold actually worked. He took a bump outside on the concrete. Yeah. He took a suplex. Like, he was back. Like, that was as close to Stone Cold as we're ever going to get. And we saw him. So for me, yeah, bias, don't care. It's my show. Kiss my ass. Number 5, KO and Stone Cold.
I think that's a solid list.
Yeah, I think so too. So now, what do you want to do for the Hot Tag Podcast official match of the year? Do you want to do 1 or 3? Because our top 3 is a little different.
3.
Okay, so I think we can agree on what the top 3 are, but the order. So we have Seth and Cody at Hell in a Cell, Gunther and Sheamus, and Brock and Roman.
Yeah.
I think easy we can agree Brock and Roman number 3. Okay. So, officially, the number 3 match of the year for the Hot Tag Podcast, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, Last Man Standing, SummerSlam. Unbelievable match for everything we just talked about. Number 2, now I got to think about this because...
So what I'll give my argument to why I almost said let's just do Cody and Seth, number one. But then I realized you take Cody's pectoral muscle being torn out. That's not. It's more of a spectacle than anything.
Yeah, yeah, you want to take the spectacle match. But I mean, yeah, you're right. If it weren't for the torn pec,
I think
it could have been top 5, but like it's definitely not in the top 2 conversation without the torn pec.
No.
Sure.
And so I literally was gonna say let's just do we'll do Cody and Seth, but then I thought well Gunther and Sheamus was a classic banger of like it was a no spectacle needed. It brought the match alone brought prestige back to the IC title.
Yeah.
It alone put that title back on a pedestal.
Yeah.
And now it's like, and now we're talking about Now we're talking about a
You've
Brock.
been in New York too long.
Now we're talking about a Brock Lesnar possibility Gunther match for WrestleMania for the IC title, which is probably not going to happen. But also, Gunther versus Drew McIntyre for the IC title. That's a world title caliber match.
It is.
But it all started Sheamus. And the psychology of the match was so good. The match was so good that they gave Sheamus a standing ovation after Gunther left the ring without him having torn pectoral muscle. They gave him a standing ovation because that him and Gunther just put on a classic. They didn't say, man, we're impressed what you were able to do given your limitations. He said, thank you for blessing us with such a phenomenal, such great physicality. They put physicality back into wrestling. They put psychology back into wrestling. They didn't do anything without a point to it.
You want to talk about putting psychology back into wrestling. Seth frickin' Rollins came out in Hell in a Cell, knew Cody Rhodes had a torn pectoral muscle, and wore Dusty Rhodes gear like the biggest heel in history. That's why you can easily, I think it's not hard to argue that Seth Rollins may be the best heel this year. I get it. Roman is obviously a heel and he's the biggest guy in the company, but I think he's too likable by too many people.
I think Seth is the best heel.
I think people genuinely hated Seth Rollins this year.
Seth was the best heel of the year.
Yeah, and I don't know. That's the thing. And, Seth Rollins is just such a fucking menace. That's what he is. He's a fucking menace. Shows up to the Royal Rumble and with the Shield entrance just to fuck with Roman Reigns. All-time dickhead move.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns, who's supposed to be the biggest heel in the company, was the baby's face because Seth Rollins showed up in Shield gear. And, but that's separate. And, I don't know. I get what you mean. Without the torn pec, it's not the same match. I argue it might be a better match if there's no torn pec because of the limitations.
I agree it would have been, but that's just,
But at the same time, it would have been a better match, but is it top 2 if his pec isn't torn? Maybe top. It could crack top 5 because, honestly, I thought the WrestleMania match could have been top 5.
WrestleMania match.
So, they just have great matches, and that's just what it is. But, I mean, I get you, but, the standing ovation thing, they did the same thing for Drew McIntyre, and he got screwed. He, for all intents and purposes, also should have won the world title that night and got a standing ovation. He didn't just get a standing ovation. He actually got a nod from a legitimate fighting world champion in Tyson Fury. You did your country proud, mate. And, that's the thing also is, it was Scotland as opposed to Ireland. I think that night did more belong to Drew McIntyre, but I think Sheamus siphoned a lot of that out. I feel like the reactions would have been bigger during the Drew and Roman match if Sheamus and Gunther wasn't so good.
Yeah.
I think everyone expected that match to be good, but I think that's another one that overperformed.
Yeah. Well, did you know? So it wasn't. Where were they? They were in Wales. So.
Right. Yes. Not Scotland. Right.
That they built it as Drew's backyard. They were actually closer to Sheamus's.
That's funny. I didn't know like the actual
Geography,
geographics of
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I had heard that they're like we're actually closer to Ireland than we are Scotland, and so it's like
That is weird.
but
That is so weird.
so yeah,
I guess the reason they did that is because global appeal. Drew is a larger name than Sheamus.
yes,
And I think wrestling fans would put it the other way around because they know Sheamus and know his body of work. But
he's a better worker than Drew.
I agree. I think it's easier to get behind Drew in a world championship standpoint because of his personality. He's a little warmer, where Sheamus is a little bit. He's a natural heel. Like even now with the Brawling Brutes, he's over and he's a babyface, but like he's still doing heel things. Like he's still attacking people from behind with weapons.
Yeah.
Like, but it's part of his character. I understand that, but
I think I want to go down and say like, and I think you know this, and it's like, all right, the match itself is like better, Gunther and Sheamus, and outside, so everybody's like, oh, this is so crazy. The guy, he wrestled with a torn pec. That's what people are talking about. No one's really talking about the substance of the match. They're talking about all you had to do is not fuck up the match, and it would have been okay. They're talking about what he wrestled a good match with a torn pec and a torn mouth. They're not saying he wrestled great. They're like, man, he wrestled during the match. People are talking about that match quality in Gunther, Sheamus. They're like, this is absolute spectacle of what those guys went out there and did. And it's hard because they were both given 5-star matches by Dave, 5 stars by Dave Meltzer.
yeah, I mean they have to. It's weird, and it's how you look at it, and it's what do we want to, where do we want to land as a show? Do we want to lean more towards the spectacle of the moment, or do we want to like just look at the wrestling purist aspect of it? And I think that's the interesting conversation because I'm the entertainment in the moment, and you're the wrestling purist. What is the match like?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna fight on this one to take it of a more wrestling standpoint base, purely because I know a lot of people are going based off the moment and they've given it number one. But I think our show, for me, I would like our show to stand by Gunther and Sheamus and be like, hey, we seen you out there, we seen that match you went out there, and we all know your match was better. Like everybody.
I mean, I can't even say that because like wrestling with a torn pec, and like you want to talk about the technicality of it, Seth Rollins having to keep Cody Rhodes safe to a degree and keeping himself safe because he's wrestling someone with one arm.
Yeah, but
that's dangerous.
That's not our job when we watch as fans, is to think about how he's keeping him safe.
I understand that, but if you want to talk about the technicality of the wrestling, it has to be even that much better. From Cody Rhodes' standpoint, too. He has to clean his shit up because he's only got one arm to use. Well, like a 1 1/4 arm to use. Because he can still grab and shit. There's just a lot of motion he can't do.
I think it's impressive. I think it was impressive. I think it was a good match. But it's just that. I think it was a good match.
I thought it was. I just don't think I can possibly remove.
Which is fine.
I like that image of like him taking the jacket off and wincing in pain as it went off his right shoulder. Like I was like, I couldn't even imagine being like in a hospital and taking my shirt off.
What if we compromise here?
God.
Gunther and Sheamus match of the year, but Seth and Cody moment rivalry of the year.
I mean, yeah, I think that is the rivalry. Seth Rollins. Apparently it's not done, but Cody... yeah. All right, let's go the Hot Tag Podcast Match of the Year, Sheamus and Gunther at Clash at the Castle.
Sounds good. Second match, Cody and Drew, but we were labeling... Cody and Seth, Hell in a Cell, but we were labeling Seth and Cody as the rivalry and the moment of the year.
Yeah, that Hell in a Cell match, I think...
Which is huge because before that, the second biggest moment of the year is probably Cody returning.
It is, 100%. And I think if you take away the torn pectoral muscle, Cody Rhodes returning at WrestleMania is the moment of the year. by far.
Yeah.
It's not even close. Like,
It's
we
in-
knew, but we didn't, right?
Yeah.
Because it's still Vince at that time. Teddy and I, I remember this clear as day. When those lights went out, I remember thinking, I hope it's Cody and he didn't fuck it up. I hope it's Cody and he didn't fuck it up. And then when I heard wrestling is more than one royal family, I said, oh my God, he's back.
Let's see if I can pull up the footage from us, actually, our reaction.
You actually, you don't even need to pull it up. I watched it so many fucking times. You leaned over to Zach and you heard that, and is this him?
Yeah.
Is this part of it? And I'm like, I think it is. And
Let's see where it is. Let's see. Is this
oh my
it?
God, like that was awesome, and I was very upset because I wanted Seth to win at
This is like-
WrestleMania, but once I knew it was Cody Rhodes, I knew that he wasn't gonna. Well, let's see.
I remember,
yeah,
there's
Chad-
a picture of me going like this.
But yeah, Chad, so what are your moments of the year? You guys got any favorite moments? I know Zach is a big, back in chat here, he's a big Gunther guy.
Oh, is he?
Huge Gunther
Rock
guy.
on, Zach.
I asked him the other day when I was playing WWE, I was like, who's your, like, actually, like, right now, who's your favorite? No hesitation, immediately, Gunther. I was like, all right. That's a great pick, honestly.
That's what I said to you. Remember, I texted you and I said Gunther's hands down my favorite wrestler right now.
Yeah, I get it. Mine's Seth, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, Cody Rhodes actually has me fiending for a,
So supposedly Roman
custom weight belt.
is supposed to drop one of the belts before Mania, but that doesn't sound
I
right.
saw that.
I think there's a whole lot of shit going on there. Just like how have you been seeing how James Gunn has been like, yep, this is fake, calling out all the fake news about DC. He's been calling out all the fake news. I think that's just because like a lot of it doesn't make sense. Like, why would you have Roman drop it before Mania?
So you don't have to have Rock involved with a title, I guess, would be the only thing.
Well, he's only going to drop one of them. Why not?
Yeah, and lose the other one to Cody.
I mean, why not have him pull double duty?
Still might.
That'd be the best thing in the world if he wrestles Rock night 1, then Cody night 2.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think they want Rock wrestling for the title. So Roman loses a belt beforehand, then night 1 he wrestles the Rock.
I think he should wrestle for the Universal, and then Cody wrestle for the WWE.
Well, did you see that there was a teaser in the show Young Rock?
Yeah, I did hear that. I didn't see it.
So they go to this place. They go to this country because this ambassador is a huge fan of The Rock, and the president, who The Rock just lost to the presidential race in the show, needs him to go over and smooth things over and talk to this lady. Huge Rock fan. There's all this Rock memorabilia on the wall with all the titles he's won, and right front and center, in front of a picture of The Rock, is the blue Universal title, which he's never won. But also on that shelf was the Macho Man Legacy title and the Ted DiBiase $1 Million Championship. So, like, I was like, oh, maybe it's a teaser, but maybe it's just, like, something to fuck with us.
Yeah. Look at Fred in the back.
Uh-oh.
Look at my face.
That stadium is massive, dude.
I gotta hold my cowboy hat.
I didn't wear it, anyone. Dude, we were fucking at WrestleMania.
So I just sent Zach what might be our seats, but actually probably a little closer. Our view from WrestleMania. Let me see where I.
Yeah, I just took a video of it. It's so loud.
This is probably going to be our view.
So fire, right?
will probably be our view.
Oh, that's a good view.
But we're probably gonna be close. We're gonna be closer than this. A couple rows closer. A little further to the left. Once it gets, it's when you clear it up, it's a little grainy right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's still a good view, though.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see the ring pretty easily.
Yeah, well, that's also probably not where the ring will actually feel like it'll be more center of the field.
Yeah, this is grainy as hell.
Yeah, but so we also got to talk about who we think are the male and female superstars of the year. Throughout this past year, who we think was the best overall superstar throughout this year. Who entertained you the most? Who was, you can incorporate who was the best wrestler. Also, that'll play a factor. And I know for me, it's a little off the beat, not off the beat path terribly. I think the superstar of the year is Seth Rollins. For male, the male superstar of the year is Seth Rollins. I think he has been doing the most with the least. I think it's been a rough year, but I think even when he's losing, he's making massive impacts. I think his interaction with the fans is just at an absolute unbelievable level. We've mentioned his name in every single conversation for some of the best matches all year. Made Riddle look like a goddamn superstar. Had 3 of the best matches of the year with Cody Rhodes. And I think, while he wasn't world champion, he had a United States Championship run in there. He helped legitimize the United States Championship and helped put over Austin Theory. And I think he's just been quietly doing the most. And I think he is one of the more over people that, fans may not think about first, but I'm damn sure they're thinking about him. And that's my vote for number 1. The show number 1 will probably not be Seth Rollins. I get that. But my vote for male superstar of the year, Seth freaking Rollins.
My male superstar of the year. Sami Zayn. We want to talk about doing the most. Sami Zayn. He has turned chicken soup. He's turned chicken shit into chicken soup.
Yes, he has.
He has made lemons into lemonade. This man is in the hottest storyline in all of wrestling right now.
Yeah.
And it is because of him.
Yeah.
He's there. Roman is there, but it is because of him that the bloodline feels fresh again.
Yeah. Yep.
This man had a match that I wasn't a fan of, but many people loved at WrestleMania. The
Knoxville match.
Yes.
I loved that.
He made great. He made great work out of that. Did great work. He's been just slowly getting to this point where people are actually talking about Sami Zayn winning the world title.
Feeling pretty oozy these days.
Yes. Sami Zayn, in my opinion, is the superstar of the year. He has brought new life to wrestling. Everything he touched, it becomes comedy.
Yeah.
I think he deserves it. I think segments with Jay, his emotion he brings to camera when he's on there with the bloodline.
Yeah.
He's drawing from everybody, and he's making Roman Reigns' job that much easier. Because he's putting Roman in a position where we all feel like Roman is the head of the table and he is our dad. And like when he comes out, it's like, uh-oh, the boys are fighting and dad's here. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Sammy has made Roman look better without
Yes.
By just being himself, he has made Roman look better.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick. And Teddy mentioned that to me beforehand, and I said, holy shit, that's a really good one. Neither of us picked Roman Reigns, and I think it's because it's a little too obvious.
Yeah.
To pick Roman Reigns as a superstar of the year. Obviously, this man's done the most. And I think I think last year I had him as my superstar of the year. Because I think year 1 of this reign of dominance of the island of relevancy was a lot stronger than the second year. And I think that's even more glaring when you look at Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
right? So now the bloodline was getting stale. We on the podcast were saying ourselves at points like, I don't know, like they're a little stale right now. But then every week, what are we interested in?
Bloodline.
The bloodline, because we want to see Sammy and Jay. Yeah. We want to see that story because they're doing such a good job. There's clear division in the bloodline right now.
And now it's like Jimmy. Jimmy's like it's being the sneaky one behind.
It's interesting, and Sami Zayn has put himself into a position where he could now main event a night of WrestleMania, and no one would bat an eye unless it was against Kevin Owens, because we don't necessarily want to see that again. But like, he's that dude, and if you and I want to sit here right now and make the Hot Tag Podcast Male Superstar of the Year Sami Zayn, I'll do it. I'll do it right now.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hit the
Let's
button.
go.
I think Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn. Hey, it's almost like we're calling him down. Come on down, buddy.
Our special guest. No, I'm just kidding. Sami Zayn is not here. Well, maybe one day we'll have Sami Zayn on the Hot Tag Podcast.
We're lucky enough.
That day is not today.
Yes. So
anyway, we can go to Female Superstar of the Year.
I am interested to hear what you have for this one. Who do you think it is? To me, there wasn't that many standing outcasts, and I think with the injuries, it made it easier. So I think you'd have to go with the most consistent.
Yeah.
And it's Bianca.
Yeah, I think that is the easy EST choice. The easiest choice. The right choice. The only choice. Bianca Belair has been nothing but spectacular. The crushing, embarrassing 26-second loss to Becky Lynch at SummerSlam 2 years ago.
I don't know that.
That's what set up this whole WrestleMania thing. She got embarrassed by Becky Lynch, but damn it, did she come back stronger than ever. And then she won at WrestleMania in a phenomenal match. And that followed up the WrestleMania prior, where she won an ESPY with Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
And it didn't, which I thought Becky and Bianca was a better match, but Becky and not Becky, I'm sorry.
The moment was bigger for Becky.
Bianca.
It was first time Bianca won the title at WrestleMania. It was a big moment. It was a very big moment. You could see the emotions in the match. And like you said, it also, you think it was a better match, but even if that is true, it's not taking much away because that match was still stellar.
Oh, it was. I agree.
It was a phenomenal match. Both matches, and like Bianca's on the trails of her first two WrestleManias out the gate are great matches.
I know.
Like, holy shit! Her first WrestleMania match was a WrestleMania main. Who can say their first ever WrestleMania match was the main event of WrestleMania?
Brock Lesnar, maybe.
Brock Lesnar
was 19.
Hulk Hogan.
Oh, Hulk Hogan, yes.
Hulk Hogan, Brock Lesnar.
Not many. It's a very, very short list.
I want to say Hulk Hogan and Brock Lesnar and Bianca are the only ones.
Cena didn't.
Oh, well, Roddy Piper.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was in that tag match.
Yeah.
It is a very short list.
It is. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's very, very, very clear that Bianca Belair is the female superstar of the year. Right. She's been the most consistent and the most dominant female superstar in a very, very long time. When you get mentioned and referenced to as the female John Cena,
you're doing something right.
It's a damn big deal.
Yeah.
Because I think, like, you can say what you want. You cannot like John Cena, but I think we're at a point in time where we need to be mature enough and realize he is the greatest of all time. As far as mass appeal and winning championships and being who he was and changing the face of wrestling forever, I mean, Jesus, John Cena, I think, is the greatest superstar of all time.
I mean, he didn't necessarily change it for the better.
You can say that all you want, but there are generations of fans that are now built off of John Cena's back, where WWE might have failed without it. You can say...
I'm not going to sit here and say he's not. For me, he's not, but I understand when people say he is for them.
I think what adds to his greatness is he is easily the most polarizing WWE superstar of all time. You love him or hate him.
That is very true. He is easily the most polarizing.
Nobody doesn't care about John Cena. You hate him or you love him.
That's so true.
He makes you feel something.
You cannot have not.
It's either very strong, I love this guy, or I cannot fucking stand his face.
Trying to get out.
And listen, you're a Batista guy, right? Like, that was that built-in animosity that we talked about back in the day. Like, if I was a Batista guy, I'd be like, fuck John Cena. He's not better than Batista. Batista's my champion, damn it.
That's right.
That's why the first belt he got was Big Gold.
Big Gold.
Because of Batista.
And hopefully he's at WrestleMania.
But yeah,
Then I guess, those are our Superstars of the Year. Rivalry we already mentioned was Seth Rollins and
Cody Rhodes.
And the Moment of the Year was Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. I think, like, the other... I don't think there's
Pay-per-view of the year, WrestleMania 38.
Yeah, I'd say so. SummerSlam. SummerSlam would be the only other thing.
That was a good pay-per-view.
Because of the return of Bayley, Io Sky,
which they've done nothing with.
Huh?
Which they've done nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The moment was cool.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar versus Roman in the Last Man Standing match. Usos versus the Street Profits. We got Riddle and Rollins, right?
No, where at SummerSlam?
Yeah.
No, we got a brawl. That was it.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Which I believe was because Riddle failed a drug test, so he wasn't cleared to wrestle.
RK Bro 420, baby. But I mean, they don't test for weed anymore, so that's not what he got in trouble for. Anyway, yeah, pay-per-view of the year. I think it was WrestleMania 38. The only other thing I felt like got to that level was Extreme Rules because of the return of Bray Wyatt. But that card was also really good. We had the Fight Pit match. We had the strap match. We had the Extreme Rules match.
We also couldn't forget that Daniel Cormier Fight Pit match coming out looking like a...
I already did.
Daniel Cormier coming out. And
like a Mr. Potato Head.
That tight wrestling, that referee uniform.
Or
and
like
then,
you couldn't get him a bigger size, guys. Just like one bigger.
And then him just coming out smiling. Hey!
The baddest dude on the planet.
So happy to be here.
Looking like fucking Santa Claus without the beard. Oh my god. Smiling, jolly as shit. God, that was bad. But no, I think, yeah, it has to be WrestleMania 38. I thought that was, both nights were really good.
Rock and Poppy, maybe.
It could. I don't know. It seems like it's gonna be Hell in the Cell because Triple H likes
Hell in a Cell at Rumble and WrestleMania. I'm not fighting it. You know what's funny? I said that to you earlier this year, and you're like, I don't see it. Brock's not in his point in his lane where he's gonna do it, and now you're like, I think it's gonna be Hell in a Cell. You literally were like, I don't see it. I don't think Brock's gonna do it.
But like, yeah, I don't know. It could. I'd say that, but like, it could happen. I don't know. It's a lot of speculation. We are heading straight into WrestleMania season. We're what? 3 weeks away from the Rumble now? 4? 3 weeks?
By the way, I'm gonna try to throw a party if you're interested.
It's a Saturday?
Yeah.
If I don't work?
Oh, you don't have it yet if you don't have the coach. Check the calendar if you have a 28th yet.
January 28th?
Yeah, it's the Rumble.
The Royal Rumble, January 28th. That's going to be a big one. You want to do another little pool?
I can ask around and see if you want.
Am I looking at my wrestling? Well, January 26th. Nope, nothing until February 4th. So I can go down for the Rumble. I think Royal Rumble this year is going to be amazing. I think the match is going to be a lot of like gimmicky returns and cool shit.
Yeah.
With the end being heavily story based. But I think the rest of the card is going to be really big. I think this may be like the biggest Royal Rumble card outside of the Rumble match in a long time. I don't remember being that excited about a Royal Rumble card in a while. It's looking like we might get a Hell in a Cell. Where it's
a blackout match between. Oh my god, Zach sent me this. Try to get him to send it to me. TikTok. The Rumble card looks good. Plus, we're like living and dying on what's gonna happen at Mania, where everybody's so excited right now.
Yeah, I mean, the first ever Hunter Mania, like, the excitement is reaching a fever
That's
pitch.
so funny that everybody's calling it Hunter Mania.
Well, that's what it is. It's Hunter Mania, baby. Can't not get excited about it. And I think that's what it is. It's just like the anticipation of what it could be. Did I say it?
There was a music video that was hilarious, and they made LA Knight when he was like, yeah, yeah.
Tag Slayer Gator Bowl. But yeah, I mean, is there anything else you wanted to? We're at about an hour. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No. I think we closed out good. I mean, it was a great year to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, and I said it, I think, last time or the time before that, like, when Zach was on, yeah. This is the most exciting time to be a wrestling fan, I'd say, in the past 16 years. Probably since 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
With all that going on.
There was a lot going on. There's a lot. And respectively, on the AEW side, there was a lot of good shit going on.
Oh, yeah, AEW took bounds and leaps, and now we went from... I don't know why I feel like this is so big. We went from guys like Moxley and Jericho and CM Punk and Adam Page to winning the world title. And now you have that bona fide dickhead heel. There is... I think outside...
Kenny Omega was a heel, too.
Was he?
Yeah. He was a damn good one, too.
This year?
No, not this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say. Oh, when he was champion, right. Yes. But, like, I don't think there's anybody that's as close to the heel kind of champion as I feel AEW needed than MJF. He's what the Miz wishes he was. Like, if we're being real, like, the Miz looks like a dollar store MJF. Now, like, back in the day, like, the Miz was tearing it up, but, like, I think the ceiling on MJF is so much higher than the Miz's, and the Miz has done very well for himself.
Well, because MJF can actually work in the ring.
Right.
Where Miz was limited in the ring, and that's why he was... And I think that's what makes it impressive about it. Is limited. Still so...
Yeah, he gets it done, and he's just...
He's no one you could really take serious as a champion.
Right. And I think AEW was missing that kind of, like, screwball, I'm smarter than everybody else, like, I'm better than you because I say I am kind of guy. Like, where Jericho was, like, I don't remember his championship run at AEW, to be honest, but, like, then you had a lot of tough guys who were just beating people up. And then, like, that dominant kind of champion, like your John Moxley, this out of people. Punk, who was winning matches. He wasn't necessarily dominating, but he looked good and was winning matches. And, you know, I think his return helped outside of that, whatever. But no, yeah, AEW has a lot going for it. Losing Cody Rhodes was not nearly the hit I thought it was going to be. They're doing just fine. It honestly opened the door for a guy like MJF. Yeah. They needed another big personality because, like, Cody Rhodes would take shots left and right at everybody. He freaking took a sledgehammer to Triple H's throne at an AEW pay-per-view.
You needed another big life personality. Oh, Joe's tearing it up over there.
He's doing really well. He's the ROH TV champion right now.
And the AEW TV champion. Oh, he's he's the TNT champion. And now
yes.
And now we're gonna get another Darby Allin Joe match, which is crazy.
People are so concerned for Darby Allin.
I just said that to Zach. I was like, he asked me to come over and watch AEW, so I went over and watched AEW, and then I was like, I feel like AEW, like I feel like Darby Allin's the next Jeff Hardy. He just put, and he goes, I'm not in this for the long run. I
guess for a good time, not a long time, folks.
Yeah, I think that's what he was like. He pretty much was saying. He's like, you know, he's not in this for the long run.
Yeah, and that's fine. I say that's fine, but in like 20 years when he's like doing real bad and like in and out of rehab because he's fucking addicted to drugs, like I feel a lot. Like it's like how I feel about Jeff Hardy now. Like I feel really bad. Like it's weird. I feel bad for being entertained by that. Because
we paid him millions to afford that rehab.
The reason I feel bad is because if we didn't enjoy it, he wouldn't have done it. And it's like, yeah, I get it, but it's like I feel a little responsible for putting Jeff Hardy through those tables and on the concrete and on the steel.
The house he lived.
That Matt Hardy burnt down with his dog in it. That was fake. That wasn't real. People, oh my God, people like came after Matt Hardy on TikTok. Like, I can't believe you burned your brother's house down while his dog was in it.
What did he say?
He goes, well, maybe there was just a fire and I saved the dogs and WWE turned it into a story. Maybe that's what happened, guys. Because he didn't actually set his brother's house on fire.
Jesus, people get it. People are obsessed with shit. It's sad.
Listen, we will talk in kayfabe sometime, where we'll go into the story, and then you can say, "Oh, what do you mean that's not real?" Like, no shit. But like, that's the nature of what we talk about. Okay, I get that sometimes. Like, oh, why do you talk about it like it's real? What am I supposed to do? Yeah. Like, it's entertainment. I like talking about it.
Don't you talk about soap operas and reality TV show like it's real?
Like, that's how you talk about movies or your favorite TV show. Like,
did I ever tell you that time Zach was like, you know, when Daniel Bryan was younger, he's like, I don't like Daniel. He's gay. And I was like, he's not gay. He's dating the Bella twins. And he was like, that is. And then, like, now I joke about it. It's a story.
Remember, now he's got children.
Now he's got children. He was dating them both.
And then Roman made that missionary joke.
That missionary joke is...
Nikki, maybe you might have been okay with missionary for every night for 20 years. Nikki Bella wasn't. I said, God damn. Well, you want to... It just made me think of Roman.
He said that to Daniel?
No. Roman said that to John.
Oh, no, I thought the Nikki Bella not okay with it. Oh, he said that to John?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, because he said it's the same thing every night. It's like missionary every night.
I love that
line. He said, you might be okay with missionary every night, but I know I'm not. And I know Nikki Bella wasn't. And then John just like kind of makes his face. But
that line was the best line ever.
I think the best line of the year came from Roman Reigns when he looked at Austin Theory and said, your daddy's not here anymore.
Your daddy.
I was like, because how true was that? Because everybody in the world that watched wrestling in that moment thoughts about Austin Theory. You're only here because Vince likes you. And Roman said, why are you here? Your dad's not here. Daddy's not here anymore.
It was a great line.
I'm here. Daddy's home.
He's consistently had the best lines for like last 3 years. Last year, like we said, was the missionary line, and then the year before that was to Daniel Bryan. I don't like you. I've never liked you. That is the best line.
Because he started off trying to be nice. He's like, you know, Daniel, I respect you, blah, blah, blah. He's like, the truth is, I never liked you.
Like, I don't like you.
I'm like, damn.
I never liked you. And I was like...
No, he's great. And like,
for someone who used to not have any mic skill.
And his trash talking is at an all-time level. Yeah. When he's like, I forget who he was, but he's wearing him down. He has a chokehold around him. He's like, this lock is extra tight.
I think
and these arms are extra big. And
he's like, he's not going nowhere.
Yes,
we're going to sit here until I feel like getting up.
Yep. His trash talk in the ring. One of my favorite Roman Reigns moments from this year was during the Logan Paul thing. He's like, I'm the tribal chief. I'm tired of thinking people thinking they got a shot.
Yes.
I'm like, damn.
You know, though?
He goes like, they're talking about one lucky punch. What about my lucky punch? I'm tired of people thinking they got a shot.
You know who's the
Woo!
best trash talker while the match is going on? Montez Ford.
Oh, he's great.
He's phenomenal. And then I think it's Kevin. Then I think it's Roman Reigns.
KO. I think KO is sneakily been one of like the best superstars in the world.
He has.
Like, he's one of my favorites by far now. And it started at WrestleMania 38 when I really started to like him when he had that thing with Seth Rollins. Like, I started watching it, really paying attention then, because that's right when I started watching wrestling again.
36?
Yes, 36. 36. When they had that match. And then, I didn't text you this because I wanted to save it. I don't know if this is just you, but I never legitimately felt like anybody could beat Roman except for Kevin Owens. I don't know why, but like I just never felt like anybody could figure out how to get around everyone and beat Roman Reigns except for Kevin Owens. I feel like he's legitimately come the closest.
And that's because he had those 3 matches where literally, if Jey Uso didn't save him, the match was over.
Yeah,
Roman
like,
won. I mean, like
KO,
each time KO won, and like Brock was like, "Oh, Brock, they needed help to finish," but but we didn't see a point where Brock was gonna win if they didn't interrupt. We literally seen it where if the Bloodline did not interrupt, Kevin Owens was gonna be the new champion.
The only other time that happened was Drew. Yes,
Yeah.
But again, that was the moment, right? But I think. Kevin Owens may be the one to take a belt off of Roman Reigns. I am all in for it. I'll tell you what. If I get they're gonna have a match at the Rumble.
Yeah, supposedly, I think Cody's gonna take the belt off. I'm telling you, this is how I'm booking.
I think Cody will take a belt.
Yeah, I think this is how I'm booking Royal WrestleMania.
So much for us not having anything else to talk about. We both said we were done.
I know.
A half hour ago? No, sorry, 20 minutes ago.
I'll call him Roman wins The Rock for the ring. Night 1. Bloodline comes jumping him. Ass hit. Rock and Austin close out. Rock and Austin close out night 1 beer bash. Cameras cut. They just entertain the crowd for the rest of the night.
I might cry. I'll be watching it in this living. I might be sitting there. If that happens, I might be sitting right there crying.
And then night 2, Cody and Roman. Roman coming off and just beating The Rock. He's unstoppable.
For the first time in 3 years.
Comes down. And earlier that night, Usos lost to Kevin Owens.
Sami Zayn.
So when the Bloodline comes out to interfere, they come out. Sure that Cody gets the win. Cody wins. Confetti comes down. We all cheer with him.
That would be on the level of Chris Benoit beating Brock.
Eddie Guerrero.
Is that who he beat?
Eddie Guerrero beat Brock Lesnar. At WrestleMania, you're talking Chris Benoit beat Triple H.
Beat Triple H. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Yes.
It'd be on that. Yeah. Because that's where Roman's at. He's at the Triple H Evolution level. But the Bloodline's bigger than Evolution ever was. Because it just didn't last as long.
Yeah, this has been like 3 years and it keeps growing.
Right. And it's just...
but like, I wouldn't go as far as to go say ever was. Well, yeah. Okay, yeah, sorry. When you say it like that, it's like, it makes it seem like they're not even in the same realm, but I realize you're saying...
They're kind of not.
Evolution is a very huge stable.
I think Evolution is number 2, but I think it's like number 2's here and the Bloodline's like up here. Like, I think they have taken over the entire planet for 2.5 years.
I can give that. Bloodline has to go down as like the best.
The best faction of all time. I think so.
I mean, and that's huge because you got Evolution, 4 Horsemen,
DX.
Yeah, you got.
I think that's the biggest ones.
You don't really count New Day action.
I mean, you should because there's more than 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess you would put New Day on there. They're a faction. There's 3 of them. They're not.
But it's weird because you consider them the best
tag team of all time.
Yeah,
I know.
It's weird. The Shield.
The Shield. Yep, that is one of the greatest factions of all time. The Nexus.
Yeah.
No retribution. That was way worse than the Nexus.
On that note,
Yeah, on that note, everybody, seriously, thank you for hanging out. Have a very, very happy new year. I hope it brings you everything you're looking for. Thanks for hanging out with us if you watch in 2022. 2023 is only going to be that much better as wrestling fans, as Hot Tag Podcast fans. And while we're here, one last time, a little hot tag. Boom. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Peace.
peace.